What is up, everybody? Monday Night Football has just wrapped up. The Vikings take the W 27-24 in Chicago. A great win, taking away the victory for JJ McCarthy in his debut. Um, Definitely felt similar to watching him win at Michigan with a very great, solid team around him defensively, weapon wise, scheme wise, head coach. He's in a great position and he did what he needed to do to win. He only threw the ball 20 times, buck 50, two touchdowns, the one tough pick six, but they came away with the win. And maybe there's part of Kevin O'Connell that saw what JJ McCarthy did at Michigan and thought that this is all I need to be able to compete. I need a guy that can make the throws when he needs to, but I don't need a gunslinger, right? And you kind of saw that a little bit a few times with the play before halftime to Naylor, just making the throw, putting it there when he needs to. That got them the field goal before half, which gave them some momentum going into half, especially when they really didn't have a whole lot going for them offensively in the first half. I think it's going to be tough when it's your debut in the NFL. He's not a rookie technically, but didn't get any field time last year. And you're going against a tough defense in Chicago, who's got great personnel all around. I do know they're missing their cornerback Jalen Johnson, but either way, they were flying around throughout 3.5 quarters. So JJ Early did not look great, but he didn't look super uncomfortable. He was trying to make things happen, and it kind of felt similar to when you were watching Caleb last year, and the play was blown up pretty early. They didn't have Christian Darrisaw on the Vikings O line, and it was pretty glaring that it wasn't holding up the way it was supposed to. Going into halftime, it was clear they made some scheme adjustments to help protect him a little more, get the run game established, which ended up being what made the play action to Jeddah's to then get the touchdown to Jeddah's work. I think that was a great, probably his best throw of the night. Sat in the pocket, made the throw with a guy in his face. Um, so even though JJ only threw the ball 20 times, 150 yards, the tough pick six, I think he did what he was supposed to do. You can't be mad if you're a Vikings fan, especially just the will to keep pushing when it's you're on the road debut, the tough pick six. There's a lot of things that would make it where you can walk away from that game and not win, and you're still optimistic. So getting the win in that position is awesome for JJ. Now, I do think there will probably be more discussion around Chicago from this game than the Vikings simply because they lost. And even though they lost, I do think in almost every aspect of Caleb's game, it looked like he improved. Really just being able to be comfortable in the pocket. It looked like he had a better O-line situation. The Joe Tooney move looked good for him, ex-Chief. But no, he had good protection for the most part. He didn't seem like he was desperately trying to make a play every play, and the Vikings defense was solid. They're not scrubs out there. But a theme that was a red flag somewhat for Caleb last year is that he would make the easy throws difficult and the difficult throws look easy. I felt like the theme stayed true tonight, and I don't even think that that's a claim to why they lose the game. but early you see the vintage college Caleb Williams, 3rd and 5, rolling out to the right, slinging it to Adunze. Like throws like that, it really feels like our there's a limited number of people in the world that can make that throw look as easy as he does. Even the swing route early in the game to DeAndre Swift, like that's a tough all the way across the field throw, and he makes those look easy. But then the easy throws, the 3rd and 2 to Adunze on the screen, low and behind him, it can't be there. The ball late to Cole Kmet, where he had him pretty open across the middle, you got to make those. So I do think that that is just something that is going to take time to develop, to continue to be comfortable. But I think, like I said, there were a lot of improvements in certain aspects of his game. He stayed in the pocket, looking downfield quite a bit more than it seemed like last year, which is probably because he had good protection for most of this game. Um, the best throw I think he had all night was I think the 3rd and 5 to Odunze looked nice, but the first possession out of half that the Bears had, it was just a 20-yard handoff to DJ Moore across the middle on the sideline. And it's things like that that you see him make look so easy, and then he has. So when you have an offensive performance where it's not all together, but you see the flashes, it's almost like confusing when you're losing this many games that Caleb has now had as a career record. So even though there are, I think, obvious improvements offensively, specifically with Ben Johnson, Adunze year 2, Caleb year 2, another year with chemistry, DJ Moore, I think DeAndre Swift looked really good today. Um, I liked the Loveland plays that when he got it, probably could end up being more comfortable. But even with all that, the feeling is too familiar with this loss from the losses of last year, where some way, somehow, they end up finding a way to give the other team the game. And I don't even really know how much blame you could put on Caleb for this loss. Um, but you really can't put much blame on the defense either because they played so well throughout most of the game, and they got the pick six to give him most of the points they had throughout a large portion of the game. So it feels like a very awkward loss for the Bears, and the Vikings stole the game. Um, this is a situation where you definitely could have written a better script for JJ McCarthy's first game if you wanted him to turn into some top 5 quarterback in the league. But JJ McCarthy looked like JJ McCarthy today. And that's much better than him potentially looking like a complete bust coming off a torn ACL, first debut against a tough defense. Who did the Bears play next week? Let's see who Bears schedule. They've got the Lions. Okay. They've got the Lions in Detroit. They played Monday, so it's a short week on the road. Both teams are going to be pretty desperate to show out for a win. Man. Then the Bears got the Cowboys at home the week after that. That's going to be a tough game next week too. Ben Johnson playing against his former team in his second game as an NFL head coach. It might get dark in Chicago if things don't go pretty well for that game. And it's almost like the same situation as if this were to be New York, because some fans and fan bases can be pretty harsh and pretty brutal. And at this point, the fans aren't happy with moral victories when it comes to Caleb Williams and the Bears. And even though I think if you were to have a clean slate and nothing happened from what happened last year of Caleb Williams, say he had a completely average season and didn't have a down year, I think you would look at this game as a positive. There wasn't really, of course, there's things that Caleb needs to improve on, but I don't think you would look at this game as, oh, Caleb Williams is our limiting factor. We'll never be able to be a contender because of him. But because of the narrative from last year, this game is going to be really hard for fans to swallow and feel optimistic about. Pause. But that's why I'm saying moving forward, I don't think moral victories are a thing for the Bears. I think I think that fan base and those fans need real W's on the schedule. Look at their record and see something winning. They are not going to be happy with 1-3, but oh, Caleb's better than he was last year. If they're not winning games, like I said, things might get pretty dark in Chicago. But I don't want to speak too much down on the Bears because it is just week 1. I do think there is improvement. Like I said, Ben Johnson will probably get more chemistry with Caleb. And really, all Chicago needs is just to get a win. To look like they did today, but get a win, which I think most of them thought they were going to. But, you know, that's how football goes sometimes. Shout out JJ McCarthy, though. Good win for him.